Okay, what is up YouTube? As promised, I'm now going to do some follow-up videos to the basic beginner bash video we looked at. We're going to start progressing quite rapidly through these bash videos, and I've actually done some preparation for this video, so we're not going to be freestyle off the top of my head. I've actually got quite an extensive list of notes, so this is probably going to be 4, 5, maybe even 6 videos when we split this up. I've also got my editor back editing the videos. I'm not going to be going live and just freestyling it, so he's going to be editing these. That in mind, and that said, let's just hit the command line. We're going to be starting off with some debugging in bash, and we're going to be looking at some of the stuff that we're going to be using when we debug our bash scripts later on. So let's start off here. I've got my script open, and pretty much where we left off in the last video, I've just moved it to a folder underneath the op directory. Now, at the start of this script, we're going to be using the set option. And in the beginner bash video, we looked at the set with the -e option. So let's just recap quickly the set with the -e option. So the set with the -e option like so. What this means is if your script has an error in it, rather than for bash being forgiven and just carrying on running, it's going to stop the script. It's going to actually generate an error, okay, on the page. So what I mean by that is, let's say there was something fundamentally wrong with our script, like we haven't set, I don't know, a quotation mark, or we've got a tool missing, or in fact, let's just do something like this first. So like if we just do an ls and then we do an L, and I'm going to just do does not exist. Okay, like so. Now, under normal circumstances, the bash script doesn't really mind that the file doesn't exist. It'll output an error, but the script will keep running. If I just do hello world, something like that, if it's hello world, spell it properly. Let me just get myself off screen. I'm going to have a big screen now. Okay, so if I just do hello world, and I've got my LSL file does not exist, under normal circumstances, this would actually just run normally, okay? The hello world would come out and there'd be an error. But if we add the set with the -e option, we're actually telling bash to stop upon an error. So if I just take this off quickly and just comment it out, so you comment out with the hashtag or the £sign or whatever you want to call it. If I just come down here, I run my script, you can see there that I got an error for the ls. The ls does not exist, no such file or directory, but I still printed out the hello world. If I was to come up here and I was to uncomment with the set -e like this and just press save again, and I'm just going to jump back down here and go to run the script, Control L to clear the terminal, you can see now I don't print out the hello world. And the reason for this is because the -e option with the set there is telling it stop when you see an error. Okay, so this is a good way of debugging our bash scripts, because we might have a lot more code underneath this error, and if we've got a lot on the terminal, we might not spot that this doesn't actually exist, or this is erroring out. Okay, so this is a good way for debugging our scripts. The next option we're going to look at is, let me just copy that and comment that out. The next option we're going to look at is the X. Now, the X is what I call a stack trace. It's like a stack trace in bash. And I'll show you what it does now. So if I just press Control S, we go down and run this script here, you can see before every action, there's this plus symbol. And this plus symbol is basically telling us what bash is about to process next in the next line. It's also going to tell us like the output of any variables we might have stored. So if we had a variable here, let's just put a variable called name equals, in this case, we'll just call it John Doe, like so. If I came down here now and did hello world, and I put the variable name here, let's just make this a bit bigger. In fact, what we could do is we could just jump to this thing actually in between, so I can keep the full size. Is that readable? Can everyone read that? I can make this a bit bigger now, and we can have a bit more comfort seeing that. So what we can see here is we've declared a variable, name John Doe. It's now going to list out some files This is the output of the error that we just saw. And then if you look here, it's actually telling us on this line here that we're going to echo out hello world John Doe. But if you look back in my VS Code, you can see it was actually going to be echo hello world name. So it's actually interpreted this variable, and it's actually output it onto the tray stack, if you like. So you can see what was going to happen behind the scenes by using the -x option. So the -x is good. It's a good thing to use as a stack trace. The next one we're going to have a look at for debugging our scripts is going to be the set -u. So the set -u, what this is going to do, so if we ever have a variable and we call it in Bash, but it doesn't actually exist, or it's not present, it's not been set in on the page, Bash is really forgiving. So Bash will just carry on running the script. If we have the -set u, as we can see, I'll just put into the script. When I run this now, I'm actually going to get just normal output first. So if I just do normal output first, you can see I've got the ls and I've got the hello world. Okay. Now, if I actually take on my file and I take this declaration out, like so, and what I should do just to make sure that you can see that this would continue running normally. If I just do hello world. Now, this does not exist, but because I got this set -u, when I go to run this, so let's go to the terminal, you can see now that when it gets to line 10 is now telling us there's an unbound variable. Whereas if we were to comment this out, in fact, let's just comment it out. That's it. And now when we run this again, you can see actually that even though that variable didn't exist, Bash has continued. So again, it's another technique to help us debug our script. So we've got stop on first error, we've got a stack trace, and then we've got this option here to basically break when we get an undefined variable. So I hope those three options so far make sense. There's something else I wanted to teach you on this bit here. Oh, yeah, there was one more option as well. So that is the set with the O option. Now we'll look at this when we do more work on the command line and not necessarily in this beginner script. But what this is going to do is if any part of the pipe fails, and we'll look at pipes, if any part of the pipe fails, we want this to stop. So that's what the -o is. And when I mean pipe, let's just go back to this command line here. So when I mean pipe, let's say we took this command here, like this script file here, we could pipe this into something else. So let's just pipe that into, let's use tac. Okay, so tac is like the reverse of cat, basically. Press Control L to clear the screen. So you can see now that we've catted out this script, we've put it into tac, and then tac's reversed it. Now that might not be too clear for you, but like you can see then the bin bash is at the bottom. Then we've gone to set e, x, u, name John Doe, ls doesn't exist. So it's basically the whole file backwards compared to if I took the tac away, and then you can just see it's the opposite way around. So that's what a pipe is. That's the pipe symbol in bash. Now, if part of the pipe was to fail, that is why we'd use the -o, and we'll come to that when we start making more tools. But for the most part, that was the options I wanted to really explain to you that we're going to be using for when we debugging our bash scripts. Now in the next video, we obviously can go a little bit further from the beginner video. We've got in our arsenal how to do loops, how to make basic functions. Now we've got the while loops, we've got counters. Now we're going to be going into sort of this debugging, and now following on from here, we're going to start escalating up and looking at more and more intermediate level bash. Okay, so keep these in your arsenal, the -e, x, u, and o with the set command, and join me in the next video. Thank you for watching.